Welcome, everyone, to this edition of SBJ Executive Insight. We're here in LA at the CAA World Congress of Sport. And today, my special guests are from Factoreal. We've got Cody Haynes, Head of Business Development, and the CEO, Aditya Dhruva. Gentlemen, welcome. How's your time been in LA?
It's been great. We've enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Any special highlights?
Just meeting the people and obviously LA's LA, right?
Let's talk about a couple of big themes that you guys are seeing right now in the industry. Obviously, coming out of the pandemic, it's all been about fan engagement, and so much has changed in the industry. What are you seeing in terms of omnichannel versus multi-channel approach? Just sort of set the landscape for us of what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, so I mean, from what I've seen, I think over the last few years, teams really see the importance of collecting fan data, right? And finding a way to aggregate all that data into one location versus having data in silos. And I think where the industry may be struggling or may need to move into is really what do they do with that data? And one way to do that is through our omni-channel platform that we talk about, right? All of your communication is under one platform versus having multiple vendors out there. So I think that's an important part right now. One area that teams can look forward to is kind of treating themselves like an e-com business. If you look at the e-commerce industry, I think they've done a great job using customer data and with product recommendations, abandoned cart campaigns and things like that. I think the e-com industry is a great industry for the sports industry to look to learn from.
So just make that come to life for me. So if I'm a team in the NBA, what would that e-commerce approach that you're talking about look like on the back end and to the consumer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like we said, it's using all of the data, all of the touch points. So think about when you're on your favorite shoe brand's website,
Yep.
right? And you put that shoe in your cart, and then you forgot something's in the kitchen, and you have to go check on it, and you never end up buying those shoes, right? Guarantee you, within the next 30 minutes, you're gonna get an email that says, hey, you left these shoes in your cart, here's 10% off to buy them. So that's one example. If a team's doing that through their merchandise shop, if you could figure out a way to do it through your ticketing companies,
Right.
Abandoned cart, but for tickets for the games, that could be a possibility.
Yep.
Maybe I can add on to that.
Yeah, please.
Right? Some great points by Cody. One of the things that the pandemic taught us, while sports was pretty much, it's actually a live experience event, right? What the pandemic taught us is it's not just about live experiences anymore. You actually have to be with the fan wherever they are, right?
Right,
At
100%.
home, at a bar, in the game, or in the stadium, wherever they are. You need to create those similar, personalized, highly targeted experiences. And that is a great lesson that teams are now taking back in evolving into their digital strategy,
Yeah.
right? And that is essentially moving the whole digital engagement with a fan at double the pace as it was before. Now, we spoke about e-commerce. Nearly 3/4 or 75% of the fans globally are actually very upset that teams are not really personalizing to the extent that they need, right? In terms of their
Interesting.
communication.
Yeah.
They want the teams to basically deliver similar experiences like an Amazon or a Netflix does.
Well,
where
because
it's
that's what
highly
everybody
targeted.
expects now.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, everybody wants what they want in that minute and then delivered to their door.
Yeah.
And to
Absolutely.
be able to customize it.
Yeah, and he brings up a great point
Yeah.
about Amazon or Netflix. Like, think about your Amazon homepage, right? It's completely different than mine,
Right.
right? Because we don't shop at the same places, right?
How do you know?
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. But your Amazon, your great point about Netflix. Like, your Netflix page your homepage is totally different than
right.
mine because we watch different shows.
Yes. Yes, that's a
And
great
that's
point.
the approach that teams should be taking
Yeah.
with that
And when you
personalization.
do an order, for example, right? Place an order in Amazon, you actually get a notification on your app, plus you get an SMS delivered if you're subscribed to an SMS texting.
Right.
So you can even get a text message because you're not always on the same platform
Yes.
24/7.
What are some pitfalls that rights holders and properties can fall into by not doing this? Where are they missing out on opportunities?
One thing is going to be if data is in silos, right? Then there's a lack of ownership between the departments,
Okay.
right? So
I see. So IT has one.
ticketing has their
right. Who's got it?
ticketing has their data,
Yeah.
sponsorships has their data, marketing has their data, and that data doesn't always talk to each other. With the multiple vendors, they always say they talk to each other and data is transferred between the different tools, but that's not the case. So there is some data loss between the different vendors, different data sets and things like that. So that's one key area, and you don't want to lose data, right? Like you want to have everything at your disposal. So I think that's one area where teams really kind of miss out, or that could be a possible
And that's
pitfall.
lost revenue.
That's lost revenue.
That's lost
Yeah. The end goal in all of this, we talk about engagement rate and things like that. Really, the end goal is like, how do you monetize data? And if you're losing data between different tools, then yes, it's lost revenue. So
Yeah. Essentially, I see it in four main areas where lack of a true omnichannel approach would affect a team from delivering a suboptimal performance. The performance could be in terms of engagement and retention of fans. It could be in terms of conversion to better sales and sales growth. The third aspect is actually getting to know your fans better, right? Because as long as the data is in silos, you are having to actually look at, hey, what did an email as a channel tell me about Eileen as a customer, as a fan, right? Or Cody as a fan on SMS texting, maybe that's his preferred channel. It also essentially impacts your overall efficiency, operational efficiency, because you are more and more relying on a spray and pray model that hopefully you're blasting communication across all channels which you know and hoping that people grab them and engage better. So efficiency, growth, retention and engagement. These are the four areas where I feel you will have a suboptimal performance if you don't do omnichannel.
Which really then can translate to be those are the four key metrics the teams should really be leveraging and analyzing to ensure that they're optimizing their data.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I want some good news. I'm in LA, I'm in a good mood.
Okay.
So give us a case study, a best practice. What does great look like?
Yeah, so one I'll highlight is the Gwinnett Stripers. They're a AAA team in the Atlanta Braves organization, Diamond Baseball Holdings ownership group. So what they did was about 2 years ago, they were rebranding from the Gwinnett Braves to the Gwinnett Stripers, right? And not only were they looking at branding, they were just reevaluating everything in their toolbox, right? And our platform came up. And that's when they joined us, and they decided to solely focus on email. So our platform is very robust. Like we can sit here and name tons of features, right? But some of the best use cases we've seen is when teams come in and take a phased approach of our features, right?
Got it.
And they chose like, we want to just kill it on email. Like we want to focus on email and get our engagement rate up, because they over the years have kind of lost their engagement rate and it was not in a good spot, right? So they solely focused on emails, and what they did was, rather than sending the spray and pray approach to their entire database, right? They really used our data warehouse and built custom segments, custom audiences. And yes, they were sending an email to only 2,000 of their 100,000 contacts, but it was a very targeted, very specific email. And they started doing that, and their engagement rate went through the roof. Their engagement rate this past season on email was 40%, and industry standards about 24%. So I think that's one of the better use cases we've seen, where we talk about not spray and pray, because you might be sending the wrong message to the wrong people, right? So they really focused in on these super targeted, super tailored emails, and I think they hit merchandise. They broke revenue records in merchandise. Ticket sales were through the roof. So obviously they worked really hard. It wasn't all Factoreal, but
Yeah.
we played a major role in it.
Right. Well, they did the messaging,
Yeah,
right?
they did the
exactly.
messaging,
They
so,
did the messaging.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
that's a very
Yeah.
good use case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the varied capabilities that a platform offers, you can have case studies across different kinds of use cases. For example, the Jacksonville Jaguars, right, the NFL team, is using us to really gain lot or acquire a lot more fans in the UK market. So their international
Yes. I
plays
just read
in
the
London.
SBJ story about that.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Right? So they used us to actually introduce WhatsApp as a fan engagement channel to the UK market. And they were able to acquire nearly 5,000 fans on the WhatsApp channel, fully opted in, first party data in a matter of just 2 weeks, right? And
That's
that's
great.
ever growing. One of the big advantages WhatsApp offers is the engagement rates are in the high 80s and 90s, right? Traditional email around 20%, texting bit higher, right? But WhatsApp is delivering the kind of engagement where every message is actually counting on a conversion.
How about that?
That's one example.
Boy, the UK loves WhatsApp,
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah. Yeah, and another NFL team should definitely take a look at it with the international home marketing rights.
Yeah.
Into Mexico, there's a
Yep.
big market for WhatsApp. So yeah, I mean, WhatsApp is a very interesting, big internationally.
Yeah.
We're working on it here in the States.
Yeah. It's going to take a little bit of
Yeah.
time.
And we have actually had the privilege of being able to support other sports as well. Like for example, we do have in cricket in India,
Yeah.
one of our customers who is using the complete plethora of the capabilities of the platform. So their online revenues grew 3x. Their fanatics base, that means the
Yep.
true fans of the team who spend like 3 times more than any other regular fan. So that base grew by 300%. And they were able to grow their overall fan base itself by nearly 3x in a 12-month period. So we really are seeing the true benefits of Omnichannel delivering to their teams.
Yep. So let's look around the corner. So, okay, maybe WhatsApp will come to the US. I don't know if I'm going to bet on that tomorrow. But what's in the future? Like if for the teams that are, let's just say, 10, 15% of folks are truly delivering that omni-channel experience, we're looking for it in 3 years.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were teams that were early adopters to all of this, right? And my background's on the team side. I came from the Houston Rockets. I think we were an early adopter to this whole data technology. So I think the future in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to hear about this, consolidating your marketing tech stack into one platform.
Yeah.
Because when teams were doing this 5 or so years ago, there was no one like Factoreal who had all the channels within their platform. So you had to go and get a separate SMS provider. If you wanted WhatsApp, you had to get a WhatsApp, provider. You had to get different providers for each channel. So I think the future is teams now, they've been operating under multiple vendors. Now they're saying, all right, we need to rein this in and consolidate our marketing tech stack. And we actually had that conversation with a team. And they said, man, if I'd have known you guys 5 years ago, I would have just gone with something like you, all in one type platform. However, we weren't around 5 years ago, so
Things change quickly.
Yes, so I think that's where it's at, and
Right.
There's been multiple articles written about it. Like I said, collecting the data is teams should be already doing that, but it really the next 2 or 3 years is just how can we consolidate your marketing tech stack.
Yep, got it. And how about you? And from your vantage point, Aditya, what's next?
Yeah, so I see 3 main market forces driving this whole ecosystem. Number one is consolidation, which is more driven by the need to bring data together, increase operational efficiency, reduce your total cost of ownership, improve ROI. That's what's driving on the one side. The second driving factor is the consumer trend, right? The fans' attention span is always going down. Day after day, month after month, year after year, attention span is reducing. That's just consumer behavior today. So people who are on texting today may not be on texting 3 years down the line. TikTok may suddenly become the most popular channel
Right.
of engagement.
And people are bailing on Twitter.
Exactly. It could be SMS, it could be Snapchat for all you know. So teams need to look at how do I make my process, my platforms agile enough so that I can onboard newer channels of engagement as and when they become popular and not be left in the lurch to say, oh, okay, I missed the bus totally. What am I going to do now? Because you cannot take up digital transformation exercises every couple of years, right? So you need to invest in bringing that consolidation in and plan for being agile to introduce new capabilities. The third factor that I would think drives this whole ecosystem is the ability to introduce change very fast, new content, newer ways of personalization. Enriching data is critical. For that, integrations to ecosystem platforms like ticketing platforms, in-stadium POS assets, right? All those data enrich what you know about a fan. And that helps you deliver a better experience at the end of the day. So I would say these are probably the three main factors that would drive this market.
Those are three incredible takeaways. So one of the things we always try and do here at SBJ Executive Insight is ensure that our viewers take away and learn something. I hope you did that today. And thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a terrific conversation.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.